Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back once again to bring my brand of grumpiness to the internet. Today I want to bring in a new feature that I hope to institute weekly throughout my videos. Each week I'll save the cringiest of the videos that I find and save them for this feature. It's a little feature that I like to call Heifer of the Week.
Hi everybody, I'm back. Look, I have makeup on today. That's great.
That's makeup? Wow. Okay then. Hey, wait a minute. Don't I know you? Yeah, I do. You're that crazy chick that flipped off a guy minding his own business in his yard just because he had some Donald Trump placards out in his front yard, and then acted all scared and surprised when he jumped in his car, chased you down. Then when the cop got involved, you got all in the cop's face, telling him, my freedom of speech, it's my freedom of speech. Yeah, that's who you are. Bering already done a video as well as some others, but I think Bering done a really good job. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Go to his channel, check out that video, because I'll probably be referencing it some in this video, but I'm not going to put the clips in there. I'm just going to deal with this one. It's going to be long enough to begin with.
So I just wanted to give an update about what happened yesterday and where we are today. And if you're just joining us, yesterday I flipped off a Donald Trump supporter who was standing in his driveway. And then that guy got into his car and chased me for about 2 miles and was threatening and all of that scary stuff. And you can see that other video on my page as well.
Yeah, I knew that's who you were. Well, this ought to be good. Well, good in a hate myself, want to drink bleach and gouge my eyes out kind of way.
Well, actually, it's public. So what has happened as a result of the video? Let's talk about that first. As a result of putting the video on social media, every single Donald Trump supporter in America apparently has found me and is threatening me.
I got news for you. They're not all just Donald Trump supporters. I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. I'm not a Hillary Clinton supporter. I don't like either of the candidates in this election. I really don't. But that's not why they're attacking you, you dumb broad. They're attacking you because you acted like an idiot. You flipped a guy off who was minding his own business and then act all surprised when he reacts. Yes, he went overboard. He shouldn't have chased you. That was wrong. I'll be the first to admit it. But come on. You SJWs got to realize when you're going to wise up that yes, you have the freedom of speech to do certain things like flip him off. But just because you have the freedom to do something, does that mean that you should? And that's what that cop tried to tell you in the previous video, that you shouldn't have instigated. You were the instigator. You started it. The guy was minding his own business, and you slowed down in front of his house and flipped him off. Now, I live in a very redneck neighborhood, the kind where every yard has a junk car in the yard, and every pickup truck has a shotgun or a rifle in the back window. You try that here, chances are somebody's going to take a shot at you. You're lucky, lady. You're really lucky. You know, yes, you have the freedom of expression, but expressing yourself often comes with consequences. You guys got to get that through your head. Quit acting all surprised when you're yelling and you're spitting and you're screaming that you're so apt to do. Ticks people off, and they take action. All right, what else you got to say?
So that's been super fun. As a result, I have made my Twitter private. I have deleted my public Tara Dublin Rocks Facebook page. I have made my YouTube private. I have, what else have I done?
Is anybody listening surprised at this, that she's taken all her social media and made it all private? Typical SJW. Cause a storm and they can't handle the backlash. It's just typical. You know, they want to scream about freedom of speech. She thinks her flipping the bird is freedom of speech. But if anybody else exercises their freedom of speech, yeah, they've got to shut up, can't handle that.
Oh, they also found my book on Amazon.
You wrote a book? Well, that ought to be good. What's it titled? 10 Ways to Act Like a Nut Job and Tick Off Everybody in the Neighborhood?
And have been leaving reviews using all of the descriptive language that I use to describe Donald Trump. So apparently, according to them, my book, which is about teenagers in New Jersey in 1985, they say is anti-Semitic and racist and homophobic and xenophobic, because those are the words that I use to describe them.
First of all, after seeing your behavior in this video and the last video, I don't doubt a bit that your book's probably all of those things and then some. You're obviously a nutcase, lady, and it would not surprise me in the least. And secondly, so you're upset because they threw your own words back at you? Typical troll. You know, I love taking apart trolls in comment sections and forums and whatnot. Always have, and now that I'm an old guy, an old fart, I really love it. It's a fun pastime. And when you throw their own words back at them, it just really honks them off and they'll run away crying. And that's what you're doing. Typical troll.
So Amazon is aware, and they are going to take down all the negative reviews. And what's great about Amazon is next to all of the comments, you can also hit report abuse. So if you look for Cuts Like a Knife on the Amazon Kindle page and you happen to see a guy named Hugh Jass,
That's a good one.
or Shmooly Shmulowitz,
It's funny.
or Tara Dublin is a kike. If you
She's a kike. That's hilarious. But what's the matter with y'all? Not watching for this guy? Come on now. You know he's our hero.
You could report those if I happen to miss them. That would be delightful. Some of the names that I have been called by Trump supporters since yesterday, because I had the audacity to do a silent gesture, which is this.
Hey. Watch that thing. Could go off.
Okay, silent protest. And the man jumped in his car, remember, and chased me and was violent and aggressive, which is not a normal human response.
Yes, he chased you, which I already said was wrong. But I see nothing in that video that suggests he was violent. He was just sitting in his car behind you. You're just making stuff up now, aren't you?
Apparently there's a website called 4chan, and I don't know anything about it, but they put stuff on there about me.
Okay, you're evidently not on the internet very much, are you? Outside of your little echo chamber of your social medias. But I guess I can forgive you for not knowing who 4chan is. But let me just put it to you this way: if you're on their radar, and they're focused on you, you're in for a long haul, sweetheart. This ought to be fun to watch.
But since yesterday, people, and the reason I actually deleted the public Facebook page for Tara Dublin Rocks is I did have photos on there that they are using against me. They've taken pictures of me and my mother together. And I saw a tweet. It was so nice because they did say we were pretty, but apparently my mother and I are kike cunts. Isn't that nice? And yes, that is protected speech, but they were still reported to Twitter.
Chick, sweetheart, cupcake, if that word offends you, you better not go to this guy's YouTube channel or listen to what he had to say about you. And let me get this straight. So you admit it's free speech, but you report him anyway. Isn't that what the guy that chased you around was eventually done? Was reported what you did to the cop, but he's the bad guy? The duplicity and the mental gymnastics here is just giving me a headache.
I was told I should kill myself. I should be raped. My son should kill himself.
I'll be the first one to admit here that I don't like it when kids are messed with. I love scary movies, but I really hate it when they harm a kid or kill a kid or whatever in those kind of movies. It just really gets to me. Probably comes from me being a parent and a grandparent. I'll admit that. They probably should leave the kid alone. But this is the internet. Everything's fair game. And it's a joke. I get what they're saying. They're saying he should just kill yourself because you're his mom. Who could take it? And they don't want you to really kill yourself. I don't think for the most part. For Pete's sake, it's just a figure of speech. And if you don't have any thicker skin than that, then you need to get off the internet, chick, because your feelings are going to get hurt right and left. That's pretty tame to a lot of the stuff I've seen over the years on the internet.
For having me as a mother. No wonder I'm single. What man would ever want to fuck me? What man would ever want me in his life?
Yeah, and I can understand that. You can count me among those that wonders the same things. But it makes sense that you are single, because when I first seen the first video, I was like, what man in the world could put up with you? He must be the cuck of all cucks, and the biggest beta male ever. But now that I hear that you're single, it makes perfect sense to me.
I'm obviously a lunatic and disturbed because I was a woman who was threatened and felt upset.
No, they think you're a lunatic and a crazy person because you act like one. And I suggest you probably are one. And in all honesty, and this is not a joke, you might want to look into some help with your mental health issues. You've obviously got anger issues and whatnot. I mean, for Pete's sake, you flipped off a guy, slowed down in front of his house, flipped him off, who was standing in his yard, minding his own business, just because you were tired of passing his Trump placards posted out in the front of his yard. That doesn't exactly speak of a sane person there, Chickie.
So, acting emotionally when you are scared and threatened and chased by a lunatic, women don't react. Don't be scared. Don't be emotional. You'll recall from the video that the officer who responded basically told me I was asking for it.
Yeah, now you really are making stuff up. That's not what the police officer said. I'm not going to put the clip in here. It's all over the internet. Go to Bering's channel and watch it. What the police officer told you was, if you don't want trouble, you shouldn't instigate it. And you were the instigator. The guy was minding his own daggum business. You pulled up out there and flipped him off. All over politics, for pity's sake. Yeah.
So, with all of the threats that I've received online, I've taken all of the precautions I can regarding online activity in the real world. I just got back from the police station down the street. I was there for about 2 hours waiting. But fortunately, a woman sergeant took my statement. And so, because I had a woman listening to me, she really listened to me.
Oh, here we go. I knew it was coming. Oh, my feels. Only a woman could understand how I feel. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, I'm a woman, I'm oppressed by the patriarchy. We women gotta stick together. No, it didn't have anything to do with you being a woman, Cupcake. The cop was just trying to give you good advice, and you kept over-talking him, screaming at him, waving things around and hollering, and he kept politely asking you not to do that and tried to give you good sound advice. If you don't want trouble, don't start it. But if you start it, don't be surprised when trouble finds you. When are you idiots gonna get it through your head?
And I'm not saying that male cops are not capable of delivering justice for women.
Yes, you are. That's what you just said.
But the experience that I had yesterday certainly left a negative taste in my mouth. And especially when what's happening in this country between policemen and African Americans.
Are you seriously gonna bring the race card into it? You're white. The cop was white. The guy chasing you was white because you called him a redneck, which is a slur, by the way. And you're going to drop the race card? What does that have to do with anything?
I know I don't look like I'm an aggressor or whatever.
Yes, you do.
But if I was a black woman, I would have been arrested, I think, for yelling at a white cop. And if the man who chased me had been a black man, he would have been arrested. But the fact that the cop and the guy who chased me were both white guys.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on there. You can't make a jump like that. You can't start out by saying, if you were a black woman, you would have been arrested. You don't know that. And you're not a black woman, so what are you bringing that into the picture? And then say, if the guy following me was a black man, he probably would have been shot. You don't know that either. That's a falsehood. You're making crap up, pulling it out of your butt, and then try to get sympathy on that for the black people. Try to tie that to you, to how you're being oppressed here somehow, and then turn around and say because the cop and the guy chasing you, and I noticed that it was very obvious you left yourself out of that statement because you're white too, but because those two were white, then everything turned out differently. Everything, they pretty much let it drop. You can't make that kind of mental jump, chick. You're going to give yourself whiplash.
The guy who chased me was allowed to change the narrative. The guy who chased me told the cop that I was harassing him and that I'm stalking him. And no, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Yes, and more than a little bit. You slowed down in front of his house and flipped him the bird for no good reason while he was minding himself. That, my dear, was harassing him. He overreacted. But you started it. Jeez, how many times I gotta tell you? I'm gonna fast forward to this a little bit. Next part is just more of her talking about how she dumped all over the cop to his superior, and how she was not in the wrong. So let's skip ahead a little bit, shall we? Save some time.
So I think people agree that his response was excessive in the face of what I did. And I will cop to the fact that, yeah, this juvenile, totally juvenile gesture, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. But doesn't it always make you feel just that much better when you do it? Yeah, it does. And that's why we do it.
I've already agreed that the guy should not have chased you. We've already established that. But if flipping off random people that aren't doing anything at all to harm you, rather than holding a difference of opinion on a political election than you do, you think that constitutes a reason to flip people off and you feel so much better about it and that's why you do it, then you are just confirming my point that you need to get some help.
So if I was driving down the road and somebody flipped me off, I would flip him back. If I was driving down the road and somebody was aggressively driving towards me and I had a cop take care of it for that.
You, my little snowflake, are a big fat liar, because we all know how you would react if it happened to you. You'd spit, scream, yell, holler oppression, that you're being oppressed. Heck, you'd probably try to say that the guy was trying to rape you. That's what you'd do. You know, there's an old saying that I can't hear you because your actions are speaking too loud. The way you act tells more about the kind of person you are than the words, because we can all say any words. Oh, such a liar.
And but because it was politically motivated, people are freaking. People are freaking because, God forbid, I don't worship Donald Trump. So isn't it terrible of me to support the best candidate for president?
I've already told you, dum-dum, this has absolutely nothing to do with the political landscape and everything to do with your poor, boorish, infantile behavior. Nobody cares who you're going to vote for, and if you get this wound up and your panties all in a bunch over a presidential race or any kind of political race that you think your behavior is acceptable, again, you need help. They got medication for that. Go take you some pills. Calm down. Relax. Take a vacation. Watch some porn. Do something. And, you know, nobody cares what your opinion of the presidential candidates are. The fact that Hillary Clinton is the best candidate in your opinion is just your opinion. That fellow's opinion is it's Trump. It doesn't give you the right to act like some middle school little mean girl. Oh, for Pete's sake.
I let the sergeant know that I felt belittled and I felt demeaned and I felt not heard and humiliated a little bit by the fact that this cop suggested that if I had just kept my girl mouth shut, the big bad man wouldn't have done anything.
There you go, telling big lies again. The cop said nothing about keeping your girl mouth shut. He didn't even mention the fact that you were a female. Gender never rose into the situation or the conversation whatsoever.
And that's a terrible message for women in America or all over the world, because we have every right to speak up for ourselves, especially when we feel threatened. And we have every right to speak up for ourselves when we want to support a political candidate of our choice. And we have every right to say whatever we want if we're keeping our hands off of each other. And I'm capable of having an intelligent discussion.
Couldn't prove it by me, Cupcake, unless most intelligent discussion starts off with flipping off random people in their yard. Yeah.
But Donald Trump supporters are not. Donald Trump supporters have nothing. They can't say, oh, well, you know, he was Secretary of State and he was a senator and he did this and he did that. He hasn't done anything for the country. And if we had a different GOP nominee, I honestly don't even care who it was. We would not see the divisiveness that we're seeing in our country. Nobody would be on Twitter calling me a kike cunt if Jeb Bush was the nominee. You think?
Yeah, I more than think. I know it would still happen. How many times I gotta tell you, you big, stupid heifer, that this has got nothing to do with politics, but everything to do with your behavior. Good grief.
And the thing that made me, I think, the angriest of all of the things that the cop said to me was, you gave the guy the finger. What stops you from hitting somebody? And in that moment, I really saw how police officers maybe try to assist in the escalation of a situation rather than trying to diffuse the situation. Because to say to me, if you give somebody the finger, what prevents you from hitting someone? How do you make that leap? This is a silent protest from the street, which was public. Going up to somebody and putting your hands on them is an entirely, completely different pathology. Also, I am 5 feet tall, 104 pounds maybe.
And Charlie Manson was only 5'2", so what's your point?
All of my friends, except for like one guy on my page who's now been blocked.
And that doesn't shock us. Why?
They're on my side because they know that it's irrational to jump in a car and chase somebody just because they gave you the finger. So from this point forward, the cop is investigating the guy and the other cop, and tomorrow we'll have a follow-up for this. So from this point forward, for now, I'm just gonna, keep my Twitter private, keep my YouTube private, and all of these messages, like the message requests that I'm getting, I'm deleting them, I'm blocking them, I'm doing the things that a woman has to do when she's online and being harassed. But all of this is just, it's unconscionable the way that people are behaving because I don't like Donald Trump. It's just ridiculous. It's completely stupid. So
No, you're stupid because you just don't get this has got nothing to do with you not supporting Trump. Man, I'm getting tired of saying this. It's got nothing to do with you not supporting Trump and everything to do with you being a psycho heifer. That's all the time I got for this chick. The rest of it's just rambling and self-love and anyway, hope you liked it. If you do, please like and subscribe. If not, your choice. Be sure to stay tuned at the end of the video for another piano cover by Jen. And please do look for her link down in the description and go like and subscribe her work and her channel. And till the next time, get out of my yard.